61, Connecticut's news station begins with a Weather Watch alert.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Bridget Bureau.
And I'm Brent Harden. More rain arrives in Connecticut along with a lot of wind. Let's take a look at the radar now. The rain does not look like it's going to be stopping anytime soon.
Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now with what we can expect for tonight. Rachel.
We've got a little bit of everything out there. We've got rain, some sleet mixing in, especially in the higher elevations, and we could even get a few thunderstorms that are just about to move into Fairfield County. This will take us through the evening tonight, rain coming down heavily at times, and then we'll see a few lingering scattered lighter showers into tomorrow morning. We're anticipating about an inch of additional rain and minor to moderate coastal flooding during high tide tonight, and then levels could be a bit higher heading into Thursday morning. Wind gusts up between 35 to 50 miles an hour inland with a wind advisory in effect and a high wind warning for the immediate shoreline where winds could gust over 50 miles an hour. And as the cherry on top, we've got that mixing possible with sleet tonight in the hills, and then heading into the day tomorrow, a few snowflakes out there and maybe even some minor accumulation in northwestern Connecticut. Raining statewide. Here are those thunderstorms I was telling you about moving closer to Fairfield County. And as we widen out the picture, you'll see all of the rain that we still have to get through with this storm system. So here's a look at the future radar. Rain heavy at times tonight, and then on the backside heading into tomorrow, there's a little bit of that snow we were telling you about with some minor accumulation in the higher elevations of Litchfield County. And a few flakes are even possible for other areas inland that aren't in the higher elevations. Luckily, we are above freezing right now, and that'll be the case for most of us tonight. For a look at road conditions, we want to head to meteorologist Ryan Breton, live in the Fox 61 Storm Tracker. Ryan, you were saying earlier that you were seeing a little bit of mixing in Torrington. What are you seeing now?
Well, Rachel, we went from Torrington over to Burlington on Route 4. Right now, we're right where Route 4 meets up with 179 along the Farmington River in Burlington. And I'd say it's 99% rain, but every once in a while you see a little bit of sleet that mixes in, or almost what looks like a wet snowflake that's melted. But the roads here are wet. The temperatures are above freezing. It's 37 degrees right now here in Burlington. When we were in Torrington, a little bit more sleet was mixing in there, but it wasn't accumulating. The temperature still safely above freezing, but it was something that we were seeing bounce around on the windshield. The story for tonight, most of us dealing with rain, but from about this area northward to the Litchfield Hills into northern Litchfield County, there may be a more persistent change over to some sleet and wet snow that happens, and that's where we may have some issues in the morning with some slippery spots. But if you're out and about this evening, you can plan on a lot of rain, and occasionally you might see a sleet pellet or two mix in with some of that rain, as we are seeing right now here in the Burlington area. For now, that is the latest live in the Fox 61 Storm Tracker. I'm meteorologist Ryan Breton, Fox 61 News Station.
The Fox 61 Storm Tracker is sponsored by Nero Facilities Management.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much. And it is going to be raining all night long, so to stay prepared, download our free Fox 61 app. You can also find the rain totals, hour-by-hour radar, and so much more. A great resource there.
All right, so rain-soaked roads are not the only danger when you're behind the wheel. All this month, state and local police, along with the Connecticut Department of Transportation, are reminding you to put down the phone or pay. April
is Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and as Fox 61's Matt Carrot explains for us tonight, efforts are underway to make the roads a safer place.
Well, behind me is I-84 in Waterbury. It is one of the most heavily traveled thoroughfares in the state. And for this month, it's also going to be one of the most heavily patrolled. And that's because police are stepping up their distracted driving enforcement. The month of April is filled with reasons to watch the road.
The rain, visibility, all of these things can play a factor.
The messaging is to put away the phone or pay.
Not only do April showers contribute to reduced visibility, but April is also prime pothole season. This year, it also happens to coincide with a solar eclipse that threatens to draw eyes toward the sky.
Distracted doesn't necessarily mean that you're playing a game on your phone or you're sending emails. It could be changing the address on your GPS. It could be reaching into the back seat. It could be eating some food or on your way to work in the morning, anything that's taking your eyes off the road.
For 2021, the most recent year of state data available, there were more than 5,600 distracted driving crashes in Connecticut. They resulted in more than 850 injuries and 9 deaths.
If they're distracted, they could cause a crash and kill somebody.
It's why police are stepping up enforcement of the state's distracted driving laws, especially when it comes to young people.
16 and 7-year-olds are not even permitted to have any handheld devices in their car. It's even more important with the younger, newer drivers to have zero distractions.
In Waterbury alone, police issued 85 tickets and conducted 145 distracted driving traffic stops last year.
The enforcement that we do is going to be based on crash data that we collect to target the efforts of our officers to kind of concentrate in those areas.
And don't discount the impact that solar eclipse can have on distracted driving. In fact, for the last eclipse that we had in 2017, the data shows that deadly accidents related to that in and around that time increased by 31%. Reporting in Waterbury on a very wet, rainy, windy day, Matt Caron, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Matt, thank you. A woman was forced from her home in West Hartford after a fire broke out yesterday afternoon. It happened just before 4:30 at a home on Birch Hill Drive. There was bad damage to the front of the house and toward the upstairs bedrooms. No one was hurt, though, and the cause of the fire is under investigation now.
But as the need for food continues to grow throughout our state, the storage space at Connecticut Food Share seems to be running out.
And now the nonprofit is announcing a $2 million expansion thanks to a federal grant. Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc was there as the news broke and shares why it's so important for Connecticut families.
I'm going to try to do this without crying. I'm going to try.
Every day in Connecticut, people like Kim Hart are struggling to bring home nutritious food for their families.
The rising cost and tighter food supplies have an impact on me and my family.
Living in New Haven, Hart says there are days when she gets to a food pantry in the early afternoon and there's nothing left.
You know what that means? That I'm going home with my empty cart, taking 2 buses back home.
It's now becoming a reality for more and more families in our state.
The numbers ain't going down, and the need is definitely going up.
Jason Jakubowski with Connecticut Food Share says it serves more than 40 million meals a year, supplying products to more than 600 agencies and local pantries throughout the state. Only issue is the organization needs more room to store that food.
We need more produce, we need more dairy, we need more meat. We need more of those things that our agencies want and that people want and need across the state of Connecticut.
And now, with a $2 million grant from the feds, they're about to make it all happen.
As we select orders during the day, this will start to fill up.
Most of the funding will be put to this part of the building right here, the freezer, where right now they simply do not have enough space to store and move all of this product.
When we get into like May and June, this cooler hallway will be full of produce and some dairy. This will be full, and we actually have to get a storage trailer outside.
A problem Tino Rivero says has existed for years, and now they get a chance to solve it, reaching the people who need it the most.
People are hungry. There's no reason for people in the United States, man, woman, or child, to be hungry here. We have food.
In Wallingford, Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Julia, thank you. The Connecticut Humane Society is in urgent need of dry dog food. A shelter is asking the community for critical donations to support its pet food pantry. It serves pets in need across the state. They're looking for Purina One, Pedigree, Blue Buffalo, and any other kinds of grain-free brands. You can drop off donations at any of the 3 Humane Society locations. That's in Newington, Waterford, and Westport.